We're getting started. Hi, everybody. It's Kanisha from boldlivingtoday.com. I know people are getting settled and coming on. Oh, yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm so excited tonight to bring our guest on for National Women's Health Week. This has just been so excited to put together. Thank you to everyone who's already given me feedback. We have posted one interview so far, and I've just gotten so many good notes and emails and DMs and things like that. So I was so excited you all enjoyed Laura Carter's interview about Ayurveda and its lifestyle. And so that interview is posted on YouTube, and I posted a snippet on Instagram on my IGTV because the video is like 20 something minutes, and it's worth every minute. You can listen to it in chunks. You don't have to listen to it all the way through right away. And so I'm super excited to welcome our guest today. Her name is Breezy, so we're going to bring her in a minute. So Breezy, I see you there. I just want to say this week is really about all of us, especially women, looking at the way we take care of ourselves. And we're not just talking about diet. We're talking about overall wellness, inner wellness, outer wellness, you know, how you are thinking about yourself, how you're dealing with sheltering in place, quarantine, COVID, whatever you're calling it, how you're dealing with that, and just really how to support yourself. So small tips, small tools, small tweaks, not this big overhaul thing. You know, we're not doing this New Year's resolution thing. If that's your thing, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying a lot of us are mentally exhausted, and we're finding it hard to take care of ourselves right now. So this is really supposed to be a platform and a space for you to hear from great experts who have really realistic, to the point messages that you can utilize right now without trying to overdo things or be overproductive or spend hours upon hours. So I'm going to welcome Breezy on here to join us. Let's see. Here we go. So excited. She's coming. So excited to see you all on. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. Yay. Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm great. It's so good to see you.
It's so fantastic to see you. It's been some years now.
I know.
I haven't seen you in a while. So before we get started on your gloriousness, because I'm super excited about this interview, I have to just tell the people a little bit about why we know each other, and then you get to do your full introduction.
Yeah.
So my family used to live in Colorado for a long time in Boulder County, and I worked at this K-12 school, and I met Breezy. I'm not sure if you were just starting high school or if you were in high school yet. I just can't remember exactly, but I know it was early high school. And that's when my daughter Bella was little, and Breezy and one of her other friends, they came and babysat, helped at birthday parties. So we have this long connection. And even deeper than that, we both graduated from the same undergrad institution, which I think is so fun and so crazy. Oh, what did I do with that sweatshirt? I had brought it over here.
Oh, you brought your Cornell gear out?
Yeah, just to show, represent. Because
Yay.
Everybody's always talking about Ithaca. Mount Vernon.
The other Cornell. Yeah.
The other Cornell. The first Cornell.
Yes, the OG.
First Cornell. Yes, the OG. This is Kingston's little sweatshirt. This is not mine.
Cute.
So I thought I would show that. But I'm so excited to have you join us for National Women's Health Week. I know you're going to tell us a lot of stuff, so tell us who you are.
Yeah.
Tell us what you do. And this is supposed to be just conversational. Cool. I do have some fun questions for you, and hopefully our audience will have questions for both of us and specifically you.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited to hang out with you digitally, first of all. So I work corporately for Nordstrom, so day job kind of life, and I absolutely love it. I've worked for Nordstrom for 10 years. I've done all kinds of stuff with the company, but currently I'm working in marketing. So it's really fun, very cool job. I love that Bella's into fashion too. It's so cute. I just like watching her is like, oh, so cool. Even back then, I remember Rochelle and I were like, this girl is like not messing around. Like she knew exactly what she wanted to do and who she wanted to be. It was just
I know, because you guys came to help with the princess party.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, you sent me those pictures. But I also on the side, which I just have really gotten into in the last few years since I moved to Seattle, to work in like corporate, which was a very different day-to-day structure than my normal job at Nordstrom. Like I had been working in the stores and your schedule's all over the place. When I moved to Seattle, I had kind of a day job, you know, like Monday through Friday for the first time in 10 years. And so I took teacher training, and yoga was just something that I had been really in love with for a long time. So I finally did my teacher training and started teaching yoga, mostly like kind of power vinyasa is what I was really drawn to. So I teach power vinyasa, and I also teach strength training. So it's like, it's kind of a format that's like high intensity kettlebells, but anybody can do it. So there's lots of layers and lots of options. And I kind of structure my yoga that way too, because I am very passionate about yoga being for everybody. And I really mean that. And it's just done amazing things for myself and for people that I know really closely. And I'm so excited that I get to be a part of that for other people. So
I love that. So I was totally going to ask you about inclusivity of yoga.
Yes.
I know you've posted about it. I know you've talked about it. I know
Yeah.
you are about it. So
Yeah.
I have like a couple of questions about that. But
Sure.
one thing, I know since people are at home and they might be trying new and different workouts, I know
Yeah.
you do some Instagram lives
Mhm.
for people to check out and learn. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if I'm a novice and I'm totally afraid of yoga,
Yeah.
that was me like 5 years ago. I was like totally afraid of yoga.
Yeah.
So I'm a novice. I'm totally afraid of yoga. I don't
Yeah.
see myself in yoga. Like, how might I
Yeah.
get into yoga at home? No one's
Yeah.
watching me.
Yeah.
How can I do that?
I think so. I've been talking about this in my lives, that this time right now, you know, there's so many horrible things that are happening, right? But one of the things that's kind of amazing is how digitally connected we are with things that we weren't before. So what's been really interesting is people are able to like, I mean, and a lot of programming is free right now too, because it's just what we're doing. It's like, I'm going to do yoga and I want my people to be able to take yoga. So I'm just going to put it out there. And there's just so much free information on the internet. So I would say like, go find somebody that resonates with you for whatever reason, whether it's their energy or they look like you or they move like you, and then see what they're doing or who they're taking classes from. I think that's just super important. And I think that that's such a good point. Like if you don't see yourself in yoga, you're not going to do it. Whether it's like, everybody always says, especially like, I talk to a lot of like my friends, boyfriends or husbands, like guys saying like, oh, I'm not flexible, you know, or there are women that, you know, just always thought it was like for skinny white girls, you know, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get why that's the perception, you know. But I think you go find people that don't look like that or don't feel like that to you, and then you go take their class. So I went live with a curvy curl. She's a blogger and a lifestyle influencer for Sweaty Betty, and she was talking about how it took her years to get into it because she had that exact feedback, was like, it didn't seem like it was for me. And then she fell in love with a studio in Brooklyn, and it felt different, and they were like a lot of different bodies and different ages and different capabilities and people with disabilities, and they're using blocks. And she was like, oh, and literally anybody is welcome here. And it really like took her to that next level of like, oh, okay, I have my home now, and now she's a teacher, and now she wants to do that for other people. So it was pretty cool to be able to hang out with her for a little while on the internet this week. Yeah.
I love that. So I'm starting at home. I'm not very flexible.
Yes.
I can't really get to the store right now or order things like my blocks, my strap and stuff like that. So what are some of like the home hacks I can use for yoga?
Oh my gosh, totally. So you don't even need a mat. I mean, you can literally just be on something that's comfortable enough to lie on. You want a pad under any joints. So anytime your knee is on the ground, you want to have like just a towel or something under there, create more space. The block thing is super easy. It's really anything that gets you closer to the ground. So it could be really different depending on how long your limbs are, how you know, unflexible you feel that day or whatever it is. But for me, the things like in terms of height that are similar to a block, or like a dumbbell, if you happen to have a dumbbell, like that is the perfect height. People have joked about like Clorox, the Clorox wipe container is a really great height. So people have joked about that, but it's true. And like Nalgene's, like things like that are just, it's literally just something that feels sturdy enough for you to put your hand down on versus trying to reach for the ground, which then you're doing weird stuff with the rest of your body when you're trying to like stretch down there. So I think those are all good options. And then I think the other thing too is like take tiny chunks, you know, don't go take a 90-minute class for your first class, you know, go, if you're finding those people that resonate with you, maybe take their 10-minute stretch or take their meditation and then just be like, wow, I made it to my mat today. And it doesn't need to be this whole production. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves for what it needs to look like.
I'm so glad you said that. I have to confess, the first time I ever went to a formal yoga class, I went to a 90-minute hot yoga class. I mean, like my
Did
very
you make
first
it
like
through?
Applique. Not well enough. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't have the right mat. I'm slipping and sliding. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I didn't do yoga for like 3 years after that. Don't be like
Yeah.
me.
You got scarred. Yeah.
Do what Breezy says. Take it easy. Have an entryway. Like, sometimes I'm all like, being bold is everything, all or nothing. That's not being bold. I
Yeah.
should have done better. So don't be like me. Do what Breezy says. Start with 10 minutes and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, and never hot yoga again. I don't like to be hot, so that's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
And
gonna
that's,
do that.
you have to find what does work for you. And it does take a little while. But like if you're at home, that's easier to be like, nope, don't like her. Oh, don't like his voice. Like he's annoying. Like you can just slash and burn people without hurting anybody's feelings right now. Everything is free. It's all like in the privacy of your home, So I have to check myself all the time. Like I'll go and say, oh, this studio that I love has free classes, or, I've been trying to donate, obviously. I'm saying free as a very loose, like the programming is there. And if you can donate, great. But I'll go and I'll be like, I'm going to take an hour-long flow, and I get on there and I'm like, I just don't like it. And then you have this guilt of like, and then it's like, no, it's fine. Do what's right for you. Especially right now. Like we don't need to be putting any more pressure on ourselves.
We do not.
At
And
all.
I see Katie says, she's like, she loves your philosophy. And then Jamina says, so funny, her first experience was also hot yoga.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's
It sounds really good. And then I get in there and I was not ready. I should have
Yeah.
done 10 minutes, or I should have brought my personal fan. You live and learn.
One of the necklace ones where you just kind of hold it out.
I'm serious. Like, it was that painful
Yeah.
for me. Like,
Yeah.
but everybody was lovely in the class. No one was bad in the class. I just was slipping and sliding and not maintaining my space because it was a mess.
Yeah.
I was like in my own yoga swamp. It was a crazy time. But I've learned. So
Yeah.
I liked something you just said about like right now in this time, in this space where we're all dealing with how we're dealing with the pandemic, we don't need to be putting extra pressure on ourselves. And, it's so, a lot of my clients, a lot of people who follow me, we are high achievers, sometimes overachievers, overdoers, but, super smart people, very creative, really wanting to leave an impact. But, we move fast. We try to move toward getting things done, but then we burn ourselves out. And so I know when we were preparing for this interview, you were saying something. I'm looking at my notes here.
Yeah.
You were saying something around, let's see, I loved how you said it, around balance. Where was that? Oh, you work with a lot of women, a lot of full-time people, and you teach and train, and you've tried to prioritize what balance looks like for you. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that, Kia, first time hot yoga, 1 hour Seattle, so hot.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not by myself.
Everyone's had that experience apparently.
Okay,
yeah,
I don't
makes sense.
Okay, maybe you can talk about that on your lives later when you're getting people onboarded properly.
Yeah.
To not do it that way.
Yeah.
But speaking of balance, like, I myself am really into mindfulness, not just because it's so trendy, but if I'm teaching parents and teens how to communicate, and I'm teaching them how to reconnect with each other because for whatever reason they've disconnected, I think mindfulness is huge. So when we're trying to be mindful about our balance and what balance means to us, and maybe using yoga or our diet, and when I say diet, not dieting, but the types of foods we eat.
Yeah.
Together, like, what can you tell us about that? I know you have some experience with that in your own practice.
Oh yeah, it's all different now, right? Before it was like, this is what I felt about it, and now it's very different. I think that I've tried to notice in myself that, I think we feel every emotion throughout this time. Like I have felt everything. And it changes, like within, half the day I'll feel great. And then the other half the day I'm just like, I thought I was going to work out and I'm not. I'm going to lay down, So, but I think in the beginning you're like, no, I gotta maintain, whether it's like the jean size or the, I still gotta be good at yoga when I come out of this. Like all the expectations you have, it's like, just let that go and like really feel how you're feeling in the moment. Mm-hmm. And then allow yourself to feel that and don't stay there. I think when it's like a negative feeling, I just make sure I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it right now so that I can move on, Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to add on the guilt on top of the way that I was feeling, right? So if I'm exhausted and I was going to work out after I worked today, I'm not going to then feel bad that I didn't work out. I'm going to be like, okay, I took this time, I slept, or I laid down, or I read instead of worked out, and I'm going to reboot tomorrow, And I think that that's just super important. And I've had a lot of friends like call me and just be really down on themselves about stuff. Yeah. And it's like, literally anything goes right now. So you know, if you got out of bed and hopefully brushed your teeth and like drank some water, you're doing it right now, you know. But for me, I mean, I think I've been trying to reset every week too, to really say like, okay, what worked and didn't work, you know, and like maybe my goal was to work out every day at lunch and it didn't work. Okay, so maybe I changed my goal for the next week. And maybe it's timing or, you know, whatever it is, like it's a different kind of workout. And I've literally changed what I've done, how I've done it, everything this whole time. I mean, these like, what is it, 10 weeks or something now that I've been in quarantine lockdown. Lots of time to figure out what is working and what's not working. So, and I think that looks different for everybody. So it's hard to be like, here's what I'm doing. But I mean, I think like I get up and I have to move my body before I start working. And it doesn't need to be it doesn't have to be a workout. It literally could be laying on my mat and just stretching. And I think that's a mindfulness practice at this point for myself. Like, okay, how do I really feel today? Like physically, emotionally, how am I feeling? And it's just like getting into my body. So I just started doing that maybe 2 weeks ago, where originally I was just getting up and starting to work and then working out later, but just moving around a little bit. I think it feels really physical for me for some reason, all of this stuff.
No, I love that. So, I love what you say, about, and I just want people to know, like, this was not pre-rehearsed. This is just all happening.
We're just talking.
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've been talking to a lot of people, like, you know, I do productivity coaching and I'm like, productivity is not all about drive, do. And with this unexpected time, you literally can only plan day to day or maybe week to week, but no more than that. And that's totally okay. I mean, we're just so used to, I have to have everything planned out, you know, for the whole quarter, for the whole first 6 months and all of that. Yeah. And maybe that was working pre-COVID, but now it's not that case. Yeah. And I was talking to one of my followers. She wanted to know which book she should buy from me. She's like, you know, I'm just feeling not myself. I want to get back into it. I feel like I should do a self-study. And I always tell people when they feel like they're in a rut, you know, they want to get my productivity first, like the Focus on What Matters book. And I'm like, no, let's not do that one. That's for project-based or getting stuff done. I always go to the one that's around self-love. And I have a specific chapter in that book that talks about, is your to-do list sabotaging you? You know, like you want to be, you know, the best at what you're doing. You want to create something. But at the same time, are you planning for your energy? Are you planning for your wellness? Are you planning for, you know, your mood? Are you planning for a pandemic? And things like that. And I love how you say, you know, the first thing I have to do is get my body moving because it's better for me in mindfulness than to just start working. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are forgetting, and you can speak to this about energy, is like, if you used to, before this pandemic, get up at 6 o'clock a.m. and you could go until dinner time, that's old time. Because like right now I'm getting up between 6:30 and 7. And then about 3-4 o'clock, I'm just done for the day. Like today I knew we were going to be on at 4 o'clock Pacific time. So I had to take a nap in the middle of the day just because to do the restorative piece of it. And, you know, I like to do these restorative stretches and things like that. So, you know, as far as like energy and using yoga or maybe using, you know, diet, what could we be doing right now? And these are suggestions, everybody. This is not a must do.
It's all just an offering. A few things. I mean, I think really paying attention to your energy, because you're right, it's so different. I am the kind of person that's almost never in my apartment. Thank goodness. I love my apartment, but I am here all the time, right? So even just the like space is different. So I think paying attention to where it ebbs and flows and like in your day. And I was noticing, that's why I started working out at noon. I was noticing I needed a full on breakout of my day, or I was going to like lose my mind. And my entire like work team, we all like love each other. So we'd be in the office and we would eat lunch at our desks and no one cares because we're chatting and it's kind of casual and there's no like, you don't go take a lunch and leave, right? But all of us were like, bye, got to go do something else for an hour, you know? So that was the first thing I noticed. Like we really needed to find a way to break up the day, because you don't have that, like even just walking between buildings to go to a meeting, like we didn't have any of that anymore. I think noticing that, and then I think the food thing, it's interesting you bring that up. So I totally noticed myself, like I love making food and baking and cooking. And I'm that person that pins 100 recipes and maybe tries like one of them ever. So I've been like really into that. But I totally caught myself like self-soothing baking, where it was like, oh, I need to make this. And I'm like, I don't need to be eating that. And I don't have any other option right now because I'm not giving food to people, right? So I caught myself in that and was like, okay, That's cool. No problem. That was really delicious. That was a great few weeks that we had, me and my baking adventures. But I channeled that energy literally like last week into really creating like, because the energy shifted in Seattle where it feels like summer now. And it was like, oh, I need to be eating differently because I love a roasted veggie and I like all this warm food and I don't like it in the summer. Like I need it to not be hot. And I saw somebody random that I follow's feed about their bowls that they made. And it was just these like vibrant, like just a bunch of stuff in there. And I already cook like that and, you know, eat like that anyway. But I was like, oh, I got to get back into that. But it's exciting. And it like made me like excited to like, you know, take a break and eat real food and kind of get back to my normal stuff. I mean, I'm still going to bake. Let's be real.
Right,
like I'm not going
right.
to stop baking because that's so fun and delicious. But I had that moment where I had to like really figure out like what was going on and then kind of get back into the groove of things a little bit. But that felt really good to like do it without feeling like I needed to or guilty. It was like, oh, I can channel that energy of being excited about like recipes and like new concoctions, but it doesn't need to be like this indulgent thing every day. Because I just don't, I don't really need that. It was more like a fun project that turned into, you know, baking for myself and my dog who doesn't eat any of the things that I bake, unfortunately, is not helping me out at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that you say you love bowls. I'm obsessed with bowls, especially now.
Yes.
During, you know, shelter in place, because one, I'm cooking 3 meals a day, you know, because I have my little guy who's here and I mean he's 13 but still my little guy.
Yeah.
And I personally hate dishes, so I love bowl things.
Yes.
And I love, you know, chopping up and putting the different colors.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're in California and we still have our, I mean, I know a lot of places have a farmer's market, but we have our beautiful farmer's market. And I love the way they have it set up where, you know, you can't touch the stuff. You have to get in the line and little marked spaces and things like that. So I'm finding that that's one of my big fun outings, you know, in COVID, being safe with my cute masks on. I have different ones.
I bet you do. I knew you would. I knew you'd have like fashion masks.
If I have to be out here looking like this, I need to have something fun.
Yeah.
And plus we had a lot of masks still from cute masks from when we would go to outdoor festivals and be dusty and things like that. So now I'm like, oh, I can wear these in regular life.
Yeah.
But I am excited about trying new vegetables. Like I'll just see something that looks interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, let me get that and try it out. So, you know, in preparing for this again, I know you were talking about plant-based eating getting easier. And, you know, you've been a vegetarian all your life and and are you vegan now?
I'm vegan again. Yeah, I've been vegan. I was vegan at Cornell and then now I'm vegan again. Yeah.
Yes. I don't think you could have been vegan when I was at Cornell.
Oh, I was barely, it was real hard when I was there.
I'm vegetarian for sure, but I'm like vegan at Cornell at the time. But I know last time when I was on the alumni board and we were doing our tour and stuff when they were doing the commons and all of that, and they were talking about the different stations, I was like, I think I need to go back to college. The food's gonna be better.
Yeah, I bet.
But I used to be a vegetarian before marriage, and I enjoyed it just because I was living in Chicago at the time, and you just had a variety of restaurants, you had a variety of options and things like that. And, you know, I live in an area where we have a variety of options, but, you know, it's different ordering food out and cooking for yourself. So if somebody wanted to kind of like make a little, you know, go in the direction of plant-based, like what is like something easy they could do that doesn't seem like deprivation or a huge 180 change or anything like that?
I think it's cool. Like, I've had a few people reach out, like more than one person reach out to me during quarantine because they're like, well, now I feel like I have time. Because I think a lot of people think it's going to be so stressful to like read all the labels and there's a lot of like hidden stuff. I think that's another thing though that you don't need to put that much pressure on yourself. Like if I eat something that happens to have like whey powder in it and I didn't realize it, I'm not going to like, I'm going to be fine. I'll be okay. I don't have an allergy, you know? So that's part of it is like, again, like baby steps. So I think like maybe doing like meatless Mondays. I know a lot of people do that. Where it's just, that gives you like putting your toe into this is like fun and I can kind of play with it and I just eat a little differently on that day. I think for me, the milks are really easy to switch out. I think that's like an easy start where you're kind of like, oh, I don't miss that. Or unless you really have a passion for dairy in that way. I think cheese is usually the hardest. That's the like, but
that's what
cheese.
I know, but I'm from Wisconsin. It's like not cheese, like cheese and bacon. Like those are like the lines. That's it.
Yeah, those are the most common things I hear too, where like people, their eyes get wide and they're like, I could never live without cheese. Yeah. I think just adding more into your meals anyway too. So again, just like having it be like that's your mindful like approach of like, okay, I'm just gonna make an effort to eat more vegetables. It doesn't have to be like cutting anything out, or if you really love like a brisket, like just eat it, you know. I think why people fail with the vegan stuff or like the plant-based diet is they're like want to go 100% in right away. And it's like, again, you
Yeah.
don't need to do that. See what feels good in your body. Like, do cold salads feel really good? So you eat a big, huge salad every day, or do you have to like roast? Like for me, like I have to like roast or steam, or I can't just do like the, you know,
Like raw
vegetables in a
all the
bowl.
time.
I almost
Yeah.
never like that. Yeah. So I think if I had just tried to do it the way that I've like seen it like on TV or like, you know, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I had to like really play with everything until I figured out what like worked for me. And I think like sauces and dips and like marinades,
Hmm.
that is so important. Have you, I'm sure you have because she went completely viral. Have you listened to Tabitha Brown?
Oh, I love her.
She
It's
went
your
viral on,
business, baby.
oh my God. So like just watch her and you're gonna be inspired to like put
For
every
sure.
seasoning you own on whatever it is that you're like stuff like that. Like she's so cute, but she's right. I mean, she's just throwing like if you watch her cook, she puts like 6 or 7 just
Yeah.
random seasonings that most of us already have on like the tofu or on the like roasted carrots. And that's such a good point because people probably don't think about it that way. Like you got to just like spice it up a little bit and like make it fun. So meatless Monday, the milks are easy, and then you can kind of go from there and see what works for you. But
Yeah.
you
I
know,
love marinades. Like I love marinades. They're just so fun to mix
yeah,
up, even if you don't have a
yeah,
recipe, and see how that
yeah,
goes.
yes.
Somebody had written here in the notes or in the comments, like, what's a good bowl recipe, an easy one that you
Ooh,
like?
I'm not a recipe person, so like when I bake, I try to follow them a little bit because you can screw it up really badly. But with bowls, the way I like meal prep is
Yeah.
I meal prep like a grain or you know
Okay.
either like a quinoa or there's this stuff called white rice that's made out of I think like lentils and things like that. So it's like a
Mm.
high protein like rice basically something like that, and then I make a big pile of that, and then I do like a legume usually, so like lentils again or beans or something like that, and I have that like I have these all in separate containers so I can kind of just throw in what looks good, and then I just play with what's seasonally like going on like out you know in the grocery store. So I love broccoli. I always do a bunch of broccoli.
Hmm.
I almost never get away from that. Right now I'm doing sweet potatoes because I just felt like that was a good thing. But I literally just keep kind of throwing it in there and see what tastes good. And then like the bowls that I was telling you, I watched a video about that was just some random, I don't even remember. I could probably figure it out later if somebody's interested, but they had put like fruit in their bowl, even though it wasn't a
Hmm.
salad. And I was like, oh, like why shouldn't I just throw an orange in there? And you know, it just adds a little bit like the more colors and the more flavors in there, it just turns out really well. And then when you start putting more stuff in, you're like, oh, this kind of has an Asian flair. And then I will like
Hmm.
put furikake on it or, you know, kind of just play with it until it looks like it's enough food, and then I just go from there. But
I love that you say that. Like, I like to make big salads. Like, I'm really into that, and then I'll have like some marinated like vegetable that you can add. But I like to make these little buffets at home where I have like the
yeah,
lettuce in the little bowl, and then I have all the different things because some of the
yeah,
stuff my son doesn't like or
yes,
my husband likes more. But they love cut up grapes in salad.
yeah,
They just think it's so delicious. So I'm always
mhm,
like, cut the grapes, and
yeah,
it's just so easy.
yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I think I did oranges, or it's like sumo. I had some
Oh, I
sumos,
love
and I like ripped
sumos.
them up and put them in my bowl, and it was really really good. So I had never done that before, and I just like yeah, why not? So
Yeah, delicious and fun.
yes, it was. Yeah,
Okay, so we've talked about the physical fitness, using yoga to take good care of ourselves. Touched on mindfulness and those things, and definitely mindful eating and working our energy. So, what about the person who, you know, we all react to challenges differently. Some people just, I need to sleep, or I go into overdrive, or I just shut down, or whatever. What are some ways we can give ourselves the proper rest that we need? And when I say the
yeah,
rest, like for myself, like I'm such a go-getter, I'm such a go person. I was already working from home, so that switch didn't change up for me.
yeah,
The big switch for me was, having everybody in my space the whole time. I mean, I'm an only child. I'm used to putting some one place and come
yeah,
back and it's there. I don't care when I come back. And so I've had to renegotiate space in my home
Yeah.
with my family, and that's exhausting for me. And sometimes, I get really intent on finishing what I thought I was going to do for that day. And it could be like two things on the list, but I'm like, I have to finish. And I've been, doing some self-compassion around that, working on my wellness. But, if I don't want to go to sleep right then, but I need to do some kind of rest, what are some things we could do? Because some people say, I can't go to sleep when I go to sleep because I have kids, or I can't go to sleep when I want to go to sleep because I have a call, because people are in different time zones. And those are very
valid.
Things.
Yeah. I think if it's more just like that anxious, like you're thinking about your to-do list, or, I used to have a really hard time sleeping. I think it was in college, and it was that like mind running thing. And I don't know how I dealt with it. Probably not well, to be honest, obviously.
That's why we go to college, to learn.
Yeah, exactly. To learn how to not sleep and then function the next day, honestly. But I've had it happen a few times, and I don't normally do this, but I'm using a meditation app. And I was like, I liked Headspace a lot. I tried that like in the very beginning of me trying to actually like sit and meditate. And I loved it. I love the guy's voice. I love the cadence. But with sleep, I was like, I don't want someone talking to me while I'm trying to, like, that's not going to work. But I've taken some yoga classes where they either do like yoga nidra or some kind of really beautiful thing at the end where I end up either falling asleep or getting into that same kind of wavelength with my brain where you're like, oh, I get why this could work. And so I went, Insight Timer is free. It's just one of the biggest meditation apps out there. They have a lot of like paid programs, but they have a lot of free, just random meditations if you just want to grab something. And I did a sleep one, and it knocked me out completely. And I was totally in that mindset where I was like, I gotta do this, and I have a call tomorrow, and what am I gonna wear? Do I put makeup on? Like, all the stupid things that your brain thinks you need to think about once you finally lay down.
Yeah.
So I've tried to encourage anybody that's having a hard time sleeping to like try a guided app, because they just turn off when they're done, right? So maybe like 15 to 30 minutes, they're all around that time frame. And it's the one that I'm doing specifically is Yoga Nidra. And so Yoga Nidra, I don't know that much about it. I don't teach it, but it is, it's talking you through like, okay, now unclench your jaw and now do this. And it's talking you through your breath. And so it's kind of that like same vibe that you would get from like a yin yoga class, but one step further where you're like counting back from 10, like that kind of stuff, where then your brain is like focusing on that and not the, if you're going to wear eyeliner tomorrow, and then you're asleep. So that's been really helpful for me. I think creating structure around bedtime too is so important. And I kind of half-assed used to do that, where I was like, I'm going to put my phone away at 7:00. And it's like, sure. But I've really tried to get better about that during this time. Like just being off screens at 7 so that I have like a full 2 hours to not be, stimulated in that way. And that helps a lot too. So
yeah, I'm really big into rituals. I did this whole series a couple of weeks ago on rituals for different things, but I think rituals are a little bit more, I don't know, relaxed, where if you don't do all the steps, you've done some, and then you have success regardless. So I love that you say that, get into a routine, get into a ritual, and keep trying different things. I mean, this is not about getting everything perfectly right, but it's about moving in the direction to take care of ourselves and take better care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So, okay. I think this is interesting topic to talk about, you and your formal, as people would think about, a corporate job, and then you doing your other more passion job. I don't want to put words in.
Passion project, side project,
side project. And I have a lot of clients who are, they have their regular jobs, and not that they don't like them, but they're trying to build something else at the same time. And so we're working together on ideation, brainstorming different ways that they can get their word out or their message or create something, and then sometimes productivity. So for yourself, how do you figure out how to negotiate the time without overextending yourself? And I know there might be moments, so we're not talking about like, I have this all on lock, but no,
sure,
just, some different tips for people to do, like, so you don't feel like you're working all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is going to sound so cheesy, but part of it is like, I was already so committed to this world before I was a teacher. So I worked out or did yoga almost every single day. So then if I'm teaching a few days a week, I'm already at the studio. I usually take class that day. So like maybe I'll take a class before or after or something. So in terms of my, my schedule. It didn't like massively change it. I think so that's like that cheesy, like if you know, like if you find your passion, you're not really working. It's like, no, I'm working, but
Yeah.
it is in a way where it was like an easier transition because I wasn't like uprooting my whole schedule to change into this new life. You know, it was like I was kind of layering it in there. So I do feel at times when I'm at my max, like if I'm teaching the most I ever teach, I do feel like I'm just like go, go, go all the time. But my schedule that I have now that I had with my studio before all of this went down, you know, we had to like chat it through. Like I tried it out for a while and then I was like, this is too many days a week. Like it's not too many classes, but it's too many days a week, you know? So just kind of being flexible with that. Thankfully I have, you know, the most amazing studio owners that are like, okay, let's figure it out, you know? But they know too that I know myself well enough that I'm saying that because I want to be a better teacher and I don't want to show up and not be like amazing to teach. I want to be, you know, I want to be my best self as a teacher. So I pulled back. I think I originally had been teaching outside of my job 4 days a week and it was too much. So I teach 3 days a week and then I work at Nordstrom 5 days a week.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. Because some people are like, I want the magic formula. There really is no formula. Like I have to be very conscious with myself. Like I'm running my business full capacity, but in a part-time capacity because I want my family to be, you know, the priority. This is why we have designing this thing. Yeah. Designing things this way, especially with my husband's work schedule. So, you know, just thank you for being so clear. I always tell people it's like, you know, we have to realize what the priorities are and if that particular priority fits that time of year or that particular month. And if it doesn't, then we'll just rework it. Yes. You know, instead of trying to like do it all at once, which is what we try to do. Yeah. Let's see, what's the question? What do you do to pace yourself or block your time? It feels like it's an art. Oh, yeah. So, Kia, I know I'm a huge person for like time chunks, like chunking my time depending on what the project is. I know for my personal projects and things like that, I have to tell my family when I don't want to be available to them. You know, I'm at the house with you, but I want to work on this, so I don't want to be available. So does this work for your time? Do you need to be driven somewhere? Right now, we're not going anywhere. Yeah, so like, this is great. Yeah. So I'm getting projects done because my time is not eating up that way. Yeah. And then the other piece, too, is just being really clear on my time sucks, like what things derail me, what things cause procrastination. And if I'm really clear about that, then I can really use my time effectively because I don't really have like a huge chunk of time to work on one thing. I'm always doing it in between things because that's just the time of my life. Yeah. What about you for your timing? Yeah. To pace yourself. Yeah, I think it's super important. I think one of the things I realized with teaching was how much of a sleep person I am. Like if I don't get enough sleep, I'm fine, but I'm not good. You know, like I will work and I'll do my job and I'll teach and everything will be okay. So that's a huge priority for me. So I make sure that I get enough sleep almost always. Like my friends will probably make fun of me for it because I am that girl that'd be like, no, I'm not going out. Like I gotta teach at 6 a.m. tomorrow or whatever it is. And I have those boundaries with my friends and stuff too, where, you know, they know that it's my priority to, you know, be really great at both of these jobs. But you know, I also like look at a week in terms of like my entire workflow. Like we have a lot of teachers at the studio that are full timers and they pretty much always someone needs coverage, right? Because they're full time. So they have other stuff going on. But I have to look at my week. Like if I have a really heavy week at work, like where I have a lot of meetings and I got to be on and all that, like maybe that's not the best week to take on a shift. And so I can say like, hey guys, I'd love to do this. If I'm your last resort, let me know. If somebody else can take it, that'd be amazing. You know, just being realistic. Like you want to be good in both or it's not good. Like I wouldn't feel good if I wasn't still really good at my job at Nordstrom. You know, like I can have this really great side thing, but it's only working because they both are getting like the best of me. And I still have time to work on other things that I'm passionate about. Which is really just the weekends at this point. Like during the week, I am pretty like go, go, go during a normal week, not these weeks, but yeah. So when we're all let out of sheltering in place safely, you know, not prematurely, what are the top 3 things you want to do? Or first 3 things, top 3 things? Yeah. What do you want to do?
I'm just excited to So last summer, one of my best friends, Sean, and I would go to Golden Gardens, which is like this beautiful beach in Seattle, and it's already like busy and crazy, and I would probably have anxiety if I was there right now, but I'm ready to like go there with a group of people, have it be like safe, and there's like fire. It's just like this
Yes.
magical place in Seattle. So that I've been like really eager to do. I want to go on like a rooftop and have like brunch or a nice meal or something. It's all outdoor related.
Yes.
Yeah. And then my family too. I haven't seen them since Christmas now, and we usually do something like springtime. So it'll be fun to see them at some point, hopefully soon. So
I know. I love your parents.
yeah, they're so. I think my mom is on. They might
I saw
both
her
be on
come
actually.
on. Yeah, her mom is an amazing
They're so
artist.
cute. Oh, she's incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
She's awesome.
My husband and I were talking about the first three things. We both agreed camping. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we were so happy we got to go camping in January.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Oh, there she is. We live in California, so you can camp in January. So I just want to say, people are like, what?
Yeah. They're
There
like,
was no snow.
Yeah.
We were on the beach. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So I want to go camping. I still want to do my mother-daughter trip with Bella to Paris.
Oh,
Honestly,
awesome.
I don't care where it is. It's just like, you know, we go every other year in our trip. So I want to go do that wherever it would take us. And then I really want to go to the beach and be on the beach. Like right now we're driving and looking at the beach.
And staring at it from the car.
And staring at it from the car. So beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost worse, right? You're like...
I want my toes in the sand. I want our little setup. And so those are my top three things I'm looking forward to. So all out. I know. I love the outdoors.
Yeah. Especially during the summer. It's just such a, like, the energy in like the city, especially in Seattle, because it's so dark and gray for most of the year, that in the summer people are like, it's just like Disneyland, you know?
Yeah.
So,
let me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's beautiful.
Tell us, you know, everybody's listening in who will hear this, like, where can we find information about your yoga and the classes you're teaching, and support your work, and then support your work through the causes that you're working for and working with?
Cool. So right now I'm teaching a live flow every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And it is free and anybody can join, and I'm making it pretty accessible in terms of levels, things like that. And then if you have the ability to donate, I'm donating towards the Seattle Foundation has a COVID-19 mutual aid fund. And it's for the underrepresented people in our communities that are over impacted by this. So it's really prioritizing those people specifically, which I am just very passionate about. So I'm matching all those donations, which I think is motivating for some people. If they're like, oh, I can only give $5, then maybe they don't give $5. But if you give $5, then I'm giving $5. And we have donated $1,600 so far, which is pretty cool. So I'm teaching 6 p.m. until whenever. And then the other places, I have all of my flows that I've taught so far on my IGTV saved. So there's, I think, like 5 or 6 flows there. And I've been doing a lot of programming for Nordstrom also. So if you follow Nordstrom, like the other 2 million people do, you might see me on there. And there are quite a few. They're shorter. So again, if you are thinking about that bite size idea, they're like 20, 25-minute flows, and nothing is aggressive with those. It's more like it's slower. It's a little stretchier. It's a little less power vinyasa, a little bit easier, I guess, I would say, than the ones that are the 45-minute flows. But those are probably the 2 easiest places to come find me. And then if you live in Seattle and we get out of this in some time frame, I teach at Studio 3, which is in Lower Queen Anne. So someday we'll all be back together.
Yes, we will. And healthy and well.
Yes, healthy, well, happy, probably still wearing masks and gloves, but yeah, well.
I know when I'm out, one of my walks in the mask, it's like, one, it's mask and it's disoriented, but I can't see people smile. Like when I see you, I hate that.
The first thing I noticed when I wore a mask out in public for the first time, I realized how often I'm smiling people to like disarm them, because no one really looks at each other anymore, you know? So if you're smiling at them, they're like, what, you know? And then I was like, oh, they can't see it and they can't tell. Yeah.
I was just noticing that. Even like when I was out with my family yesterday for Mother's Day and we went on this hike and my husband took a picture and he was like, are you smiling under your mask? And I was like, yes, but you can't see it.
Yeah. We should get like little ones that say that. Like, I'm smiling under here or something. That would be cute.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know. I like to smile at people. So it's just so weird.
Me too.
It's not my natural
No,
way of
I
being. But
literally, it was the first thing I noticed. I was like, wow, this is weird. And then I was like, oh my gosh, they can't tell I'm smiling at them. They probably just, I don't know. Yeah, it's a kind of, it's a barrier, you know, in a
oh,
lot of ways.
Katie
So,
said, watch the eye crinkles. You can tell. Okay,
oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
have
the
to.
little like right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'll have to wear my prescription sunglasses for that to see that.
Yeah, to really get in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Breezy, it's so great to talk to you. Thank you
Yay.
so
Oh my
much.
gosh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so everybody follow Breezy. What's your handle, Breezy?
It's Breeze Through, and the through is spelled THRU. And if you guys have any questions about like the plant-based stuff, or if you want links to we have a lot of time. I do have a lot of time outside of working, so I would love to help if you guys need some links or guidance or whatever. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this time. And
Yeah, of
everybody, thanks for
course.
joining us. We have this whole week around wellness and health, and it's, focused around women, but, I fear our teens and other people can really use this information too. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
So good to see you.
So good to see you. And Bella will be home sometime soon. So maybe we can have our own little FaceTime or something.
Oh my
like
gosh,
that.
I would love that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll
cool.
set that up.
Yeah.
All right. So find Breezy, breeze through, and yeah. And so we'll see you back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're going to be talking with Katie McLean from Growing Up Kind. She's on here, and she'll be talking to us about the somatic experience. And so if you don't know what that is, come check it out. And then I know there's another interview tomorrow, and it's with Jennifer Davis, who's an artist. I think it's Tuesday. I don't even know my own schedule. I should have written that down right in front of me, but it's all on the gram, so it's there. So check us out. Come if you can, and then the Instagram lives stay available for 24 hours, and then I'm having some help with getting these put on YouTube, so they'll be there, within a week.
Awesome.
Thank you. Have a good rest
Thank
of the
you.
evening.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.